following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
Outside in Milwaukee, 28 degrees with a wind chill of 16. But inside, it's 30 degrees warmer and no wind chill whatsoever. We're inside Miller Park for Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. A blistering offensive start for the Cubs last night as they ran away with a 9-3 win. It's the middle game of this three-game series against the Brewers. Welcome to Cubs baseball today. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. The offense was a big story last night, but it always comes back to the starting pitching, and the Cubs are coming off 3 consecutive quality starts.
Yeah, generally a pitching staff, the tone is set by your horse at the top of the rotation, but the 2, 3, and 4 guys have really stood up well for themselves, especially throwing strikes. Only 3 combined walks in the 3 starts by those guys in the middle of the rotation.
Battle of opening day starters today. Let's talk about Carlos Zambrano. Had another rough one on opening day, and he wants to bounce back big time.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Carlos takes great pride in being the horse of this rotation. Gave up a couple of bombs on opening day to the big guy, Adam Dunn. You make mistakes to Adam Dunn at Great America Ballpark, and he's going to make you pay. Of more concern with Carlos was his inability to consistently find the strike zone. He walked 5 batters in his 5 innings of work, threw a lot of pitches, was upset with some of the calls by home plate umpire Randy Marsh, but Luke Piniella quite plainly said he just didn't have good command on opening day. Hopefully he'll be able to find it today.
Contrasting styles with these 2 right-handers. You have Zambrano with the power sinker, the slider, a little bit of a split, but Ben Sheets has that straight fastball and a very good curveball.
Yeah, talking to the hitters down in the Cubs clubhouse, they were talking about the laser beam fastball, a very straight heater in the mid to upper 90s and a big over-the-top curveball. Basically a 2-pitch guy. He will mix in an occasional straight changeup.
We'll see if this matchup lives up to its billings. Zambrano and Sheets, the Cubs taking on the Brewers. Game 2 of this series is next.
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Budweiser, born in America and enjoyed around the world. This is Budweiser. This is beer. Your Chicagoland Dodge dealers. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Because Geico sounds like gecko. That's it. That's the only reason I'm here. The fact is, if Geico sounded like some other animal, like, I don't know, a puma, sure enough, there'd be some adorable little cat sitting here talking about Geico's low rates.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You can't even imagine the pressure. I mean, I've literally got like 2 seconds to capture your attention while simultaneously informing you that you could save hundreds on car insurance by switching to Geico. Quite frankly, I don't think it's even possible.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Great to see Cubs president John McDonough in attendance, chatting with Lou Piniella. Got the sport coat on. I can tell you this, even if we were outside, John would have the same outfit on today. Mark DeRosa with home runs in back-to-back games, getting ready for Game 5 of the year. Both teams come in at 2-2. And the Cubs scored 6 times in the first inning last night. They'd love to do it again. I know it's upper 50s, maybe into the low 60s at the upper end, but it's still a little chilly in here. You know what? There's actually a bit of a draft, I think, from the air circulating in here as they try to warm this place up.
Well, it's not as warm as you might expect in an indoor venue, but it's much, much nicer than it is outside.
Cubs lineup now brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. Is Torres batting second today for the first time, third Cub to hit second in the lineup. Also the first action of the year for Henry Blanco as he gets to start back of the plate.
Let's take a look at the Brew Crew defensively. A couple changes in Ned Yost's lineup today. Jeff Jenkins will be getting the start in left field. Bill Hall once again over in center. Corey Hart hit a home run last night playing right field. One of my best friends in the game of baseball, Craig Counsell, manning third base today, part of a platoon over there. J.J. Hardy at short. Ricky Weeks at second. Prince Fielder over at first. Johnny Estrada once again behind the plate for the big right-hander Ben Sheets. Sheets with a complete game 103 pitch outing on opening day against the Los Angeles Dodgers. We touched on it briefly in the open. Basically a 2-pitch guy. He's going to throw a fastball in the mid to upper 90s. Big over-the-top curveball that occasionally he has trouble commanding. And a very rare straight changeup. The changeup and curveball he both throws in the low 80s.
The crew chief is working the plate. That's Charlie Relaford. Vanover at first, Gibson at second, Randazzo at third. So we're set. It's Sheets against Soriano as we are underway. A swing and a miss. Leadoff double for Soriano last night, and he would come around to score the first of 6 opening inning runs. Popped him up on the infield right side. Prince Fielder will record the first out of the day.
Well, if Ben Sheets is on top of his game and has that good high riding 4-seam fastball, you should see a lot of balls hit in the air today. Tough to get on top of that pitch, especially when he throws it up around the letters.
Hey, it's gotten warmer. It was 28 outside a few minutes ago. It's 29 now.
Heat wave.
And 59 here in the cozy confines of Miller Park. 1 ball, no strikes on the number 2 hitter is Torres. Well, the Indians and Mariners, I guess, will have to play a triple header. They had a bizarre one yesterday. In the middle of a snowstorm, the Indians were not only 1 out but 1 strike away from what would have been a 4-0 win. They were in the top of the 5th inning, but they had to stop the game because of snow. Eventually it was postponed. Golfed in the air, sending Jenkins over into left center, and he'll make the catch with Bill Hall really charging hard. Jenkins going, be careful now.
Well, that ball was not too far away from straightaway left field, and Bill Hall was charging over there as if he thought Jenkins couldn't get to it. That was the curveball down and into his tour. Somehow he manages to get under it, lift that high fly ball to left field. I mean, Jenkins is camped under that ball. That's routine for the left fielder, but Bill Hall still adjusting to center. You're going to have to draw a line in the grass out there.
1-1 on D. Lee.
Now, Bill Hall apparently takes that center fielder is the captain of the outfield cliche very seriously. He's going to get everything he can.
Hall will not get to this one. It's going to split the gap for Derek Lee. Corey Hart will pick it up, and it's a double for Lee, bringing up the red-hot Aramis Ramirez. Second double of the year for Lee, and he's on with 2 down.
And Lee's had past success against Ben Sheets, hitting .324 with 5 home runs. Takes an inside fastball, gets the barrel of the bat on it, drives it to the opposite field in right center. A lot of the Cubs hitters were talking about that. They wanted to think opposite field with Ben Sheets. Sometimes hitters have a tendency to try to swing as hard as the pitcher's throwing. And for Ben Sheets, that's playing right into his hands, so they were thinking about going the opposite way, and Derek Lee does it successfully in his first at bat. But plus, if you time your swing to get on that fastball in the mid-90s, you're going to be well out in front of his off-speed pitches. So a good approach is to hit the fastball the other way, pull the off-speed stuff.
And with that double, Derek Lee with his 500th career extra base hit. Seven for 18 to start the year. Cubs with 13 hits, scoring 9 times in the opener. But as you said, Ben Sheets only gave up 2 hits in 9 innings in a complete game performance on opening day. The kick in the 0-2, fouled back by Ramirez. So to finish the story, the Mariners and Indians were supposed to play a split doubleheader today. That was canceled. I guess it's that Lake Erie effect snow. Reds had to move their game up against the Pirates. They were going to play a night game tonight, but they made it an afternoon affair.
Yeah, anytime you see highlights from a ballpark and they're making snowmen on the roof of the dugout, you know it probably should have been called off before it even started.
Sheets coming on a 1-2, and it's bounced foul past Mike Quaddy. It'll be close to another sellout today. 41-7-5-8 last night. And these two teams had to sleep fast. Well, last night's game was only 2 hours 22 minutes.
Well, with the early start time today, the Cubs took batting practice in the cages. That way they could get here a little bit later than they normally would. A lot of guys got here early anyway, but Cubs took batting practice in the cages. The Brewers hit on the field.
A little slow roller sending Weeks to his left, and he'll throw on to get Ramirez. And the Cubs threat is over. Zambrano against the Brewers when we return.
I don't think you're supposed to put coins in there.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to Baltimore, Washington, or Dulles International for just $59 one way. Purchased by May 17th.
You are now free to move about the country.
I think this hot fudge shake combined with the Oreos is the #3 top invention in all of history.
What are the first two?
Well, #1 is the doorbell, and #2 is still open. I mean, it's anybody's game.
It's not like the radio or the telephone like that.
Not that I know of. But this thing's cool. What's this?
It's a visor.
All right, #2.
Hot fudge shake made with Oreo cookies. New at Sonic. A favorite childhood cookie blended with hot fudge into a cool, creamy treat. Pay the Sonic way. Swipe your credit or My Sonic card from your car.
At GameFly, our passion for gaming has led us to rent games differently. We think different is better. Choose from thousands of the latest and classic video games delivered right to your door. Keep them as long as you want with no late fees. Then send them back in our prepaid envelope. People think we're crazy to rent games for as low as $8.95 for the first month. We think we're visionaries. Our vision? Make renting easier. Different? Maybe. Smarter? We think so. Go to Gamefly.com and start renting differently.
New low starting price. Product shown rated E through F.
Cub fans headed north, bringing a lot of signs today. Certainly appreciate them heading north for this series. Well, the Brewers hoping for some fireworks. They were shut down by Rich Hill and company last night. And as you mentioned, a couple of changes. Jenkins in left and Craig Counsell playing third, batting eighth.
And here's how the Cubs take the field defensively today. Behind Carlos, brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. Merton, Soriano, Jones across the outfield. Ramirez is Torres, DeRosa, Lee. The same infield as last night. The only change, Henry Blanco behind the plate today for Big Z, Carlos Zambrano.
Got the swing and the miss from Weeks. Carlos lost the opener. And you recall he did not win in April last year, but he ended the season with 16 victories, tying for the National League lead. A couple of high fastballs in weeks. Hasn't been able to catch up to either. He went 0 for 4 and struck out 3 times Friday night. Gary Sheffield like bat waggle, and he's called out on strikes.
Maybe cold outside, but there's going to be some heat inside on that mound today. Carlos with a beautiful backdoor sinker, started just off the corner, managed to tail it back in there, and Henry does a nice job of making that ball look a little better than it really was.
3 pitches, 3 strikes. J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, a little bit high. Fouled back. 95 as Carlos really firing hard strikes here in the first inning. That's a strike at the knees. 1-2.
You know, if you look at the velocities of the respective starting pitchers today, they both throw their fastball in the mid-90s. They both throw their breaking ball in the low 80s. But 2 different fastballs and 2 different breaking balls. Carlos gets a lot of sink on his heater. Ben Sheets is very straight. Sheets throws the over-the-top 12-6 curveball. Carlos relies more on that hard slider.
Back on another 1-2, in on the hands, fouled off. Last year, Carlos went 1-2 with a .635 against Milwaukee in 4 starts, so it was a struggle in his career. 7-7. And 8 career starts in this park, 3-5 with a .440. Yet another 1-2. Slider misses low and away. Rich Hill last night was perfect into the 6th inning. Corey Hart led off the 6th with a home run. Then a couple of errors. It looked like Hill was about to come unglued, but he came right back and went 1-2-3 against the top 3 guys in their order to end that inning.
A very composed effort from Rich Hill last night. He just he looked like he expected to do well, and he went out and did it.
The decision pitch. And Hardy hanging in against Zambrano. 8 pitch at bat with Fielder on deck, sort of.
He's almost in that left-handed batter's box. He's about halfway between the on-deck circle and the plate.
Now they're foul. I suppose if a starting pitcher were distracted by Fielder, he could ask the home plate umpire to tell him to move back. Todd Helton used to do that, but Helton would not only stand close to the plate, but really almost behind it. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Zambrano.
Well, we talked about Rich Hill in that ball game last night. Perfect through 5 innings. He really had everything working. He said he threw about a dozen straight changeups to go along with his fastball and that big overhand curve. He just had the Brewers hitters guessing wrong all night long. It appeared that when they were looking breaking ball, he threw fastballs. When they were looking fastball, he threw breaking ball. Just in a great rhythm. Outstanding performance by Rich Hill.
And still, if you count spring training, no walks. The blister wasn't a problem. And a 0-1 to Fielder. Dips inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's on that middle finger. I think he's comparing the right and the left.
The starting pitchers have a lot of time on their hands between starts. You know, observing a blister, showing it to his teammates over there.
Fielder 4 for 10 in his career with 3 walks. And against Big Z. Blanco wants it up. Oh, I mean, talk about execution. That's exactly where Henry wanted it. And he strikes out the side in the first inning. Big Z trying to come back after a shaky outing on Monday. And he looks very sharp early on.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
One morning you wake up and there it is, gray hair. And you wonder, will people see me for who I really am? How do you break out of that?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy, with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Today's a whole new ball game. And then you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly home run contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
Could that be the Easter Bunny making an early appearance?
Easter Bunny sucking on some suds up there in the stands today. I hope he can make the rounds tomorrow morning.
Doesn't really have his ears on straight at the moment. Jones batting 5th. Didn't mean to, and Sheets is going to throw him out. Based on the first inning, Zambrano's stuff looks tremendous.
Not only his stuff, but his location. You mentioned it, the last pitch to Prince Fielder. Clearly, Henry Blanco wanted the pitch up above the letters, and that's right where Carlos threw it. His command, at least through one, much, much better than it was opening day.
That's a good point. It's not always about the stuff you have. You often hear starting pitchers and pitching coaches talk about, wow, what a bullpen he threw before the game, and then the guy gives up 5 runs. Some other days you go, wasn't very crisp out in the pen. 3-hit shutout.
Yeah.
Doesn't always correlate.
The warm-ups that a starting pitcher has in the bullpen seem to have very little effect on what happens once the game starts. Certainly if they have a good session in the bullpen, they'll feel better about themselves when they take the mound, but it doesn't necessarily translate into a good ball game.
Ramos getting a little manicure from Mark O'Neill, the trainer. Maybe a little abrasion on that left thumb area. He grounded out in the first inning. Fouled back by Merton, who will likely be in there again tomorrow as the Cubs will face their first left-handed starter on the opposing mound, Chris Capuano. Good numbers for Merton here. 380 in his career overall against Milwaukee. And he lines it past Hardy for a 1-out single. Well, Mark DeRosa has been a bottom of the order guy so far, but he's batting like a cleanup man.
Well, especially when you get hanging breaking balls like that on a 3-2 count. I was talking to him about it this morning. He said he was looking fastball and thinking opposite field, and then he saw that breaking ball just hanging up there over the middle of the plate and did what a good hitter's supposed to do, make a quick adjustment, reload, and then just knock the living daylights out of it into the bullpen in left center field.
Close play at first. Merton got back just in time. Another throw by Sheets. Cubs 1 for 3 in steals. Fouled back. Ben Sheets coming off his 5th career opening day start. That's the most in franchise history. At one point, he sent down 22 in a row. The kick and the pitch, a little bit up.
Good start to the season for Mark DeRosa. His career average in April from 98 to 06 was a .245 with 3 home runs. He's nearly equaled that home run total already.
He's hit home runs in back-to-back games 8 times in his career. So if you add up his 40 career blasts, 17 have occurred in consecutive contests. He's one of 5 Cubs to have hit safely in every game to this point. Another throw by Sheets. The 1-2 to DeRosa. Good play by Estrada.
You'll see Sheets very inconsistent with that curveball. He throws it so hard. Most of the time, guys who throw the big over-the-top curveball, it's a pitch that will sit in the low 70s, the high 60s. Ben Sheets throws his in the low 80s. It's a very hard curveball, and I think because of that, he really struggles with his command of that pitch. You'll see almost as many in the dirt as you will see in the strike zone. That doesn't mean it's not an effective pitch. This one just misses off the corner away. Estrada has to lean out there. His whole body moved to the right. His glove moved to the right. Tried to pull it back into the zone, but Charlie Relaford's not buying it.
I figure Merton's going to be running, and there he goes. Fouled back.
And you can see that time J.J. Hardy, the shortstop for the Brewers, was the cover man at second base with Merton on the move. Normally with a right-handed hitter at the plate, the second baseman would be the guy to cover the bag on a stolen base attempt. But because Ben Sheets throws so hard and the pitch was a fastball, Brewers are figuring if DeRosa puts the ball in play, he's going to hit it to the right side. Therefore, J.J. Hardy was the cover man. And you've seen the great shot that we have from time to time when those middle infielders will raise their gloves and signal to each other who's going to cover the bag. And they do it on every pitch because depending on whether it's a fastball or an off-speed pitch, that will change who the cover man is at second base.
Merton's running again, and this one is drilled, and Matt should be able to score easily. Going to go all the way to the wall for DeRosa. And he's going to try for 3. Here comes a relay throw. He's down, and he's in. Give him 6 RBIs, and the Cubs strike first again today. What about Mike Quaddy? He wanted him to get down, and Q was all the way down himself. A little demonstration to third base coach.
Merton on the move, a quick peek back to see what happens at the plate. Once he sees that ball headed for the gap, he's going to score easily. You know, it's kind of ironic, Len. The 2 guys that were involved in that play for the Cubs, Matt Merton as the runner, Mark DeRosa as the hitter, were the 2 guys that spent the most time this morning watching videotape of Ben Sheets and trying to formulate a game plan, what they were going to try to do against Ben Sheets. Sometimes that homework does pay off. I mean, Ben Sheets is a guy that loves his fastball. He will challenge any major league hitter in any count. And Mark DeRosa is a smart hitter. He figured he was going to get a fastball. He got that barrel of the bat out in front of home plate and hooked the ball into left center field. And when the Brewers outfield had a little trouble getting to the ball, he just motored on around to third base.
DeRosa's going to hang at third, and the throw goes to first. So Counsell gets Blanco 2 away, and it brings up Zambrano. The ultimate sign of respect. Zambrano being booed by the Brewer fans, cheered by the Cub fans. Went 0 for 2 on opening day. 10 career home runs. He hit 6 last year. Sheets gave up 2 hits in his first performance. He's already allowed 3 today. He's 7-6 in 18 career starts against the Cubs. Big swing and a miss, and Zambrano in the hole. It's almost hard to believe that Sheets is 7 games under 500 with a career .381 earned run average. He's been on a lot of teams that have finished below 500.
Now, that one-loss record is not always a true indicator of the kind of pitcher will take the mound on a given day. As you mentioned, Ben Sheets has pitched for some well under 500 teams for Milwaukee. You put him on another ball club that scores a ton of runs and makes plays defensively, a different story.
Zambrano helps his cause. 2-0. RBI single on a 1-2. Just kind of feathered that ball in between third and short. His 29th career RBI.
Well, that's the way you teach a hitter to do it. Take a couple of good aggressive swings, try to do some serious damage, and then on the 2-strike count, just try to get the bat on the ball and hit it somewhere. Zambrano finds that hole on the left side of the infield. Cubs take a 2-0 lead.
And give Soriano an opportunity. He's still seeking his first home run. He has 2 doubles. He has hit in all 4, but just 4 for 19 after making it out in the first inning. That offensive swagger we saw in spring training seems to be back. First time through the order, 4 hits, including a double and a triple. Way out in front. That one bounced off the top of the railing. Almost hit Jock Jones right in the head.
Well, Jock appears much more relaxed this season as we get underway very early in the season. I think he was really pressing last year, trying to make an impression on his new team.
Soriano strikes out the first K for Sheets. The Cubs get 2 on 3 hits. They lead 1. Zambrano has a lead.
The location of a nuclear bomb is discovered, yet the threat is far from over.
Have your team ready to move on my signal?
Now Jack braces for a fight to seize the weapon.
Keep your hands up!
Only to discover the countdown is on.
Are you going to be able to disarm it?
Doesn't look good. X-24, tonight at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Scrubs! They're overworked.
Dr. Reed?
I'm not sucking my thumb. Underappreciated. And on call 5 times a week.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Weeknights at 11:30 Eastern.
Before you order your next beer, consider this. Budweiser still goes to the expense of Beechwood aging, an original old world style of lagering. And Budweiser cares enough to own and maintain world-renowned hop farms. A perfect choice in every corner bar, in every corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Chase Freedom. It feels like no other credit card in the world. And it works like no other card, too. Feel free to choose cash back. And then change to points. And then change again, all with the same card and without losing a thing. That's freedom. Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat. Oops. Scoops. Take a break and head to Dairy Queen for the new Kit Kat Blizzard. Loaded with real chunks of Kit Kat candy bars and our creamy DQ soft serve. Do one.
Everybody pitching in, the 6 and 7 hitters, the catalysts in that inning. And Zambrano also pitched in with an RBI single. It's 2-0, bottom 2. Zambrano struck out the side in the first. 17 pitches, he threw 13 for strikes. Faces Bill Hall. 2-hopper right to his Torres. 1 out.
You know, we've all done this at home, whether it be with popcorn or a piece of candy or whatever it is. But after Carlos Zambrano was about to go out and make his warm-up pitches, he wanted a piece of gum from the bench. Yeah, throw me that kind right there. Just throw it out here. And then he's going to try to catch it in his mouth. Having a little fun. He thought he could get away with that in front of 40,000 people, but we caught him.
The grass and dirt flavored gum. First pitch strike on Estrada. Well, Hector Almonte, right, in spring training would have a piece of straw that he would chew on while he was doing his work on the mound. Estrada finally cooled off last night. He went 0 for 4, snapped a 12-game hitting streak if you went back into spring training. He hit .446 in the spring and got off to a big start this week. Is the Scott Spezio-like soul patch working? But he didn't dye his Brewers blue like Spezio has his Cardinals red. Fly ball to left. Plan your next corporate function or family gathering in the comfort of the Wrigley Field Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments. Suites are available now for games during the season. Be sure to ask about the April discount dates. To book your suite or for more info, call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com. The strikeouts are nice, but Carlos threw 17 pitches in the first inning. Maybe trying to get a little more early contact this inning.
Well, strikeouts are so overrated. I mean, there are situations in the game where you like to see your pitcher go for a strikeout and really make his best pitches in those situations. But for the most part, you'd rather see that early swing ground ball right at one of your teammates. Keep that pitch count down.
Jeff Jenkins with 191 career home runs. He has that patented leg lift, that front leg, but it's a little bit more subtle than it used to be. Just kind of tweaked his setup a bit in the offseason. He had some struggles last year at the plate. Two and two.
That leg kick used as a timing mechanism, and it's not unique to Jeff Jenkins. A lot of players use some variation of that leg kick. It does make you susceptible, especially when a pitcher is pitching out of the stretch and goes to the slide step. It throws off the timing of that leg kick.
Inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Corey Hart is on deck. He would bat next. Hart hit a home run last night off Rich Hill. Here we go. Struck him out. Number 4 for Zambrano. Good start for the Cubs ace. 2-0.
this room before?
What?
I've been here before.
Yeah. You took the virtual tour at Hotels.com?
Right.
Want to check out your hotel before you check in? Send in the experts at Hotels.com. They check out thousands of hotels and bring you tools like virtual tours so you can look before you book. Log on or call now to find great deals everywhere. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2-meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2-meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2-meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. Sunday on WGN, Torrey and the Twins are in town for an early season showdown. Sox Twins coverage starts at 1:30 today on WGN.
2-0 Cubs. Top 3. Sheets faces Torres. Mentioned Cesar batting second for the first time. The third guy to hit second. There are certain spots in this lineup that are pretty much set. 1, 3, and 4 in particular. I kind of like that Lou's mixed and matched a little bit. Not only does it keep everybody fresh, he's getting guys off the bench into the lineup. The other thing it does, check swing ground ball to Ricky Weeks, is if you change your lineup a lot, the media doesn't ask you, well, why is this guy hitting there? If you get into certain habits, and if you change it, everybody goes, well, whoa, why is this guy batting second today?
You have to feel like you have to explain everything that you do with your lineup. But as you said, there's only a few spots that appear to be carved in stone, and that may even change as Aramis and Derek Lee and Alfonso Soriano take days off during the course of the season. But you know, there are a lot of guys who are well suited to hitting that 2 spot for the Cubs this year. I'd pay money to hit in that 2 spot for this team. Behind Soriano and ahead of Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez, you're going to get a lot of good pitches to hit and have a lot of opportunities to hit with a runner on base.
One of the characteristics of Lou Piniella as a manager, as far as his reputation before he came to Chicago, was that he was very adaptable.
Well, I happen to agree with that theory. I think you really need to use your bench a lot, especially early in the season. You need to give your regulars some time off. It's a long grind. People say, oh, they're just playing a game, but they're playing a game every day pretty much for 6 months. And at this level, it's not just playing a game in the park and having fun and drinking beer between innings. These guys are grinding hard every day, spending a lot of hours before and after the game working on their skills. Lee lofts one out to Bill Hall in center field. That'll be an easy out. You know, you mix and match, and your bench guys feel like they're part of the action as well. When you have those regulars on the bench on a given day, it gives you a good weapon to use late in the ball game if necessary. And I just think it's very important to incorporate everybody into the mix early in the season.
Two down with nobody on. Aramis has had his problems with Sheets, hitting under 200 in his career, 8 for 43. And seemingly fastball count 2-0. Got the fastball, it missed.
Well, there's a lot of pitchers in the National League you wouldn't necessarily see a fastball in that 2-0 count. Well, Ben Sheets, we mentioned it earlier, he loves his fastball, and rightfully so. He's going to challenge hitters.
He went after the 3-0.
This is some of that good old country hardball. 2-0, 3-1. Here comes my fastball. If you can hit it, then good for you.
He hits it to right in the air. Corey Hart with a beat on it. And he's on the track, and he has it for the 3rd out. Middle of the 3rd, 2-0 Cubs.
Oh, honey, I told the neighbors we'd feed their pets while they're away.
Oh, okay, sweetie. Oh, no. Ooh.
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines Internet specials, you can fly from Chicago Midway to select cities in the Midwest for just $49 one way. Purchased by April 12th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones. Cool. Aqua Velva, men get it.
Havoc is on the way.
Introducing Havoc Heli from Air Hogs, the world's smallest RC helicopter. With twin rotors and 4-way precision control, you can fly Havoc with ultimate accuracy. Havoc maneuvers under, over, even through the toughest obstacles. Advanced LiPo battery gives you 10 minutes of flight on a single charge. Made from high-impact composite, the Havoc is the toughest micro-helicopter available. With 3 RC frequencies, fly up to 3 at the same time. Havoc Heli comes with a flashing LED light and landing pad. Similar RC copters can cost hundreds of dollars. Now, you can get the Havoc Heli with LiPo battery, 4-way controller with built-in charger, 2 Air Hogs figures with rescue attachment, landing pad and Havoc CD-ROM. And you get all this, the world's smallest micro-helicopter for 2 payments of $19.95. Must be 18 years or older to call. Here's how you can order.
To order your Havoc Heli from Air Hogs, you can call 1-800-750-1621. That's 1-800-750-1621. You must be 18 or older to order.
America's funniest home videos, weeknights on Superstation WGN.
And we'd like to welcome those servicemen and women around the globe watching today's broadcast on the Armed Forces Network. Thank you for all you do. And we're happy to bring you Cubs baseball today from Milwaukee, 2-0. Corey Hart leading off for the Brewers. Hart bounces it to short. Cesar will gun him down. Just feel a little bit like last night.
A little bit, except the starting pitcher's a right-hander, not a left-hander.
About the only difference to this point. Cubs scored 6 in the first today, 2 in the second. And it's Craig Counsell playing for his hometown team for the second stint.
Not unusual to see Craig Counsell take that first pitch. He rarely swings at a first pitch. Very adept at working counts.
4 for 11 against Zambrano. And he hits it in the air, out into center. Soriano has talked about the smaller parks and the tighter gaps. Places like this ballpark, Cincinnati, and feels a little bit more comfortable than he did in the spacious Cactus League.
Oh, those ballparks in the Cactus League are bigger by design. The ball carries so much better. It's not unusual to see a park with 350, 355 down the lines, 420 or 430 to straightaway center down in Arizona. And you come back to regulation play and the ballparks are a more normal size, and Soriano feels like he's tucked away out there between Jock Jones and Matt Merton and feels very comfortable.
Another perfect 1-2-3 inning for Zambrano. Brewers draw blank again. Still 2-0.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
feels like no other credit card in the world. And it works like no other card, too. Feel free to choose cash back. And then change to points. And then change again, all with the same card and without losing a thing. That's freedom. Chase freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
The nuclear bomb is located, yet the threat is far from over.
Are you going to be able to disarm it?
Doesn't look good.
Next 24, tonight at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
And now, here are today's midday winning lottery numbers.
Baseball on WGN Sports from Milwaukee is brought to you by Budweiser. Born in America, enjoyed around the world. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
Nicely done as always. 1-1 on Jock Jones. First Saturday of the championship season. Day game tomorrow, back home to start the opening homestand. The Cubs, starting Monday, will play 14 of 16 at Wrigley. The Astros will be the opponent right here on WGN, 12:30 Central Time. Next year is here. Beautiful high definition. And sent some birds flying out of the rafters. And as Weeks makes a catch. Plan your next corporate function or family gathering in the comfort of the Wrigley Field Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments. Suites are available now for games during the season. Be sure to ask about the April discount dates. To book your suite or for more info, call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com. Dips low and outside.
You saw Matt Merton requesting time from Charlie Relaford to give himself a chance to get in the batter's box and get set. Ben Sheets likes to work quickly when the hitters will allow it.
That ball Jock hit wasn't that close to clipping the ceiling. I mean, it's way up there. But the ground rules here state that a batted ball striking the roof truss or cable over fair territory shall be judged fair or foul in relation to where it strikes the ground or is touched by a fielder. If caught by a fielder, the batter's out and the runners advance at their own risk. Called strike 3. Sheets gets Merton. If it's over foul territory when it hits the roof, it should be judged foul. That's usually the case in most of the domes.
Boy, a high strike there. Charlie Relaford. And technically, according to the strike zone as it's written in the rule book, that is a strike. That's a little above the belt, but a strike that is rarely called.
It was a few years ago where they began to call the higher strike. Well, it used to be, if it's at the belt, it was high.
Well, and I think after spring training and maybe the first month of the season, the strike zone gradually tipped on its side once again and became lower and wider. That's one thing I could never understand, and it's something that ball players learn to live with, the idiosyncrasies of the strike zone from umpire to umpire. Some guys call higher strikes, some guys call lower strikes. Some umpires will go off the corner, some guys will make you throw it over the plate. It's in the rule book. You don't get to have your own interpretation of the strike zone.
The curve, and DeRosa flailed at it. So Sheets settling in. 2-0.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
hot fudge shake made with Oreo cookies. New at Sonic. Yummy bits of a favorite childhood cookie blended with hot fudge into a cool, creamy treat. Sonic's new hot fudge shake made with Oreo cookies. Pay the Sonic way. Swipe your credit or My Sonic card from your car.
One day you find it's not business as usual. Your hair is gray, and you wonder, will people still see me as a valuable player? Is my career going down? How do you stop that?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy, with 5-minute target gray technology.
Now doors are opening, and you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off, piece of that Kit Kat. Oops. Take a break and head to Dairy Queen for the new Kit Kat Blizzard. Loaded with real chunks of Kit Kat candy bars and our creamy DQ soft serve. Do one.
How do you build TV's funniest family comedy? This would be good. First, hammer out a solid foundation of laughs.
I'm the tool man. I can fix anything.
Then plug in the jokes. And finish it off with wall-to-wall hilarity. Home Improvement. Weekdays.
Weekdays at 6 on Superstation WGN.
Great to have you with us today for Cubs baseball. Carlos Zambrano looked for his first win of the year. And he starts Ricky Weeks with ball one. Big cut, bounced straight back. Hey, Cub fans, don't forget to check in on our baseball blog on WGNTV.com. On the blog today, BB with a post about Rich Hill's great performance last night. So you're into the swing of things now with the blog. We have some fun and interesting notes from our great media relations staff. Thanks to Peter, Caitlin, and Jason. Game notes from our friends at Stats Inc. And if you missed the opening day special, a couple of video links on the blog you might want to check out. WGNTV.com. And click on the link for Len and Bob's blog. 2-2. Hardy and then Fielder after Weeks. Command was a problem for Zambrano in the opener. Not to this point today. He's full 3-2.
Well, if the Cubs need any more of a reminder of what the goal is this year, Lou Piniella wearing one of his World Series rings over there in the dugout during the ball game. Keep your eye on the prize.
The 3-2 is hammered for a home run, and it's 2-1. So the perfect game last night, broken up by a leadoff homer in the 6th by Corey Hart. Today, a leadoff shot in the 4th by Weeks, and the Brewers have homered in all 5 of their games. Third homer allowed by Zambrano this year.
Well, we talked about the Cubs hitters looking for fastballs in obvious fastball counts. You can do the same thing against Carlos Zambrano, and that time Weeks got one that stayed right over the heart of the plate, got the head of the bat on it, and rode it out of here to left center field. Carlos is not the kind of pitcher that's going to try to trick you on a 2-0, 3-1 count, at least not very often. He's going to challenge the hitters and make you hit his best pitch.
Way inside on J.J. Hardy. Health is always a key, but Weeks, Hardy, Sheets, they were not healthy last year. Keeping those guys on the field will be a big key for Ned Yost.
I think that's one of the biggest differences between the haves and the have-nots as far as the financial wherewithal of an organization is the depth. Teams that have money to spend are a little better able to withstand some injuries because they can replace them with players who can go in and do the job at a level that you don't really notice the first player's injury. But an organization like the Brewers, they need to keep their stars on the field all season long. And should they suffer some injuries to keep people, it's a little tougher for the Brewers to replace them with quality people than it is for an organization such as the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Cubs, for that matter.
There's the first walk. Zambrano walked 5 on Monday. The Brewers spending the most they've ever spent on payroll. A pretty good bump from last year. Everybody's talked about the Cubs payroll. Brewers are kind of in the, I guess, upper 60s, anywhere between 68 and 71 million. I've seen the reports. Last year they were in the mid 50s. So it's fielder to bat with a runner on and nobody out. He grounds it. Oh, Derek Lee's going to tag the bag. They got to tag him at second, and his Torres does. Double play. 3-6. Great play by Lee, and also nice to know that his Torres was paying attention to what Derek was doing, because some guys might just step on second. You got to apply the tag after the force play's gone.
Well, this is a few good plays in one here. Just stopping that ball to begin with. Having his wits about him to just tag the bag and throw on to second base from his knees. The biggest part of that play is not hitting the runner in the back with your throw to second base. And D. Lee put it on the inside of the baseline, whereas Torres could not only see it, but catch it and make the tag.
Nice play at both ends. And as a shortstop, you're in that situation always going to assume that the guy touched the base. There's no way you can go 3-6-3 on a play like that. Although with Lee and his Torres, you never know.
Those guys with the gold gloves on the mantle at home, they tend to do things that most other players can't do.
Ball 4, second walk of the inning. Henry's going to head out. Chat with Carlos. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Make every second count. Don't miss the award-winning Series 24 with Kiefer Sutherland tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
53 pitches for Zambrano. 33 strikes, 20 balls. Now a switch batting, Johnny Estrada. Swing and a miss, strike one. Happy 26th birthday to Tim Dillman. I'm sure we'll see Tim at opening day. Might be over at Bernie's. Happy 60th to Pat Zenishek. Big Cub fan.
I have to tell you, Lem, when I was a member of the Giants, we could have had team meetings at Bernie's after ball games. Pretty good attendance over there.
Long pause by Zambrano. Now the pitch.
You know, Carlos with a couple of walks to go along with the solo home run in this inning, but he's not missing by much. There have been a couple of borderline pitches that could have gone either way, and he didn't get the benefit of the call. So it's not like he's just completely lost his command. He just needs to scoot it back over the plate a little bit more.
1-2.
Well, there was that slide step. It appeared to be a splitter. Anytime you throw an off-speed pitch out of that slide step, it's very tough for that hitter. You see the split finger grip in the glove there by Carlos Zambrano. He goes to the quick step. Estrada speeds up his swing and then flails away at an off-speed pitch.
Johnny Estrada with his 4th big league team, Phillies, Braves, Diamondbacks, and now the Brewers. An all-star in 2004, won the Silver Slugger that year as well for Atlanta. Base hit. That almost hit Bill Hall. He's going to end up at third. Well, the Brewers finally getting to Zambrano. First and third, 2 outs.
Nobody has ever questioned Johnny Estrada's ability to hit. He's got a lightning quick bat from both sides of the plate. Knows he has the hole on the right side of the field. Gets a pitch from Zambrano on the inside part of the plate. And as you mentioned, very nearly picks off his teammate Bill Hall. Has to duck underneath that line drive.
Brings up Jeff Jenkins. Ed Yost had mentioned a potential platoon in left going into spring training involving Jenkins and Kevin Mensch. But both guys were quoted saying they weren't that interested in being involved in a platoon. Well, what happened? They both killed the ball in spring training, and Yost is going to do what he can to find both guys time as Larry's going to come out and try to settle down Zambrano.
Well, Jenkins is capable of playing either corner outfield position. Mensch more of a straight left fielder, so I'm sure it'll work itself out over the course of the season. No player likes to be part of a platoon unless the option is don't play at all. Everybody thinks they ought to be getting all the at-bats, but those kind of things have a tendency to work themselves out over the course of a season.
Jenkins will play exclusively left. Mensch will play some left, some right. You have Hart in right and then Hall in center. A 1-0 pitch to Jenkins. Fouled off the glove of the former Brewer Henry Blanco. Carlos really chomping on that gum. Two hits for Milwaukee, both in this inning. Johnny Estrada could literally fall down and get back to first.
I was just looking at that. It would seem to make sense to play Derek Lee around behind Johnny Estrada just to give himself a little more range with the left-handed hitter at the plate, but holding on the Brewers catcher over there at first base. Bill Hall coming way down the line at third. Aramis Ramirez is well off the third base line once again with the left-handed hitter at the plate, and Bill Hall had a walking lead about a third of a way down the line that time.
The 2-1 to Jenkins is fouled off to the left. Adam Dunn with his 3rd home run of the year for the Reds. They now lead the Pirates 4-2 in the bottom of the 3rd. Aaron Harang on the mound today. Tony Armas pitching for the Pirates. It was originally a scheduled night game, but they moved it up to the daytime because of the weather. Struck him out, foul tipped into the glove, and Zambrano pumped up. Leadoff homer by Weeks, and they threatened to get more, but Zambrano closed the door. 2-1 Cubs.
The nuclear bomb is located, yet the threat is far from over.
Are you going to be able to disarm it?
Doesn't look good.
Next 24 tonight at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. It's going to be a...
Hey, babe. I told you I was having the girls over, remember?
What would Carlos do?
No. I remember you telling me that Linda needs to lose some weight, and that Beth needs to send her hair back to 1982, and that Claire should stop messing with Beth's boyfriend. I remember that.
Refreshingly smooth, Bud Light. Always worth it.
I've been in this room before.
What?
I've been here before.
Yeah. You took the virtual tour at Hotels.com?
Right.
Want to check out your hotel before you check in? Send in the experts at Hotels.com. They check out thousands of hotels and bring you tools like virtual tours so you can look before you book. Log on or call now to find great deals everywhere. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2 meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2 meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2 meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
The Cubs take the field for the home opener at the friendly confines. Cubs, Astros, Monday at 2 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
2-1. Brewers got on the board as Ricky Weeks took Zambrano deep. Henry Blanco leading off the 5th inning, his first start of the year. He's 0 for 1 today. Zambrano after him and then back to the top. Popped up, but back out of play.
Zambrano pitching his way out of a jam here. A great sinker off the plate away. He's obviously very fired up. And sometimes I think it's the fact he pitched himself out of a jam, and other times I think it's the fact he executed the pitch he wanted to throw perfectly. And that's what he did that time.
He knocked home a run in the second.
Pitcher, Carlos Zambrano.
Always gets a reaction. Comes out a Hackett.
If you let it go, he's got a good chance of swinging at it.
It's a strike, 0-2. Kei Igawa, left-hander with the Yankees, getting roughed up. J.J. Hardy throws out Zambrano. 5 runs, he trails the Orioles 5-2. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Get into some serious monkey business with a full hour of funniest pets and people. Weekends at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Speaking of the Yankees, former pinstriper Alfonso Soriano at the plate. He began his pro career in Japan. We talk about rhythm and a groove, and Ben Sheets is starting to get to that point, isn't he?
Yeah, I talked about it in the last inning he was out on the mound. He likes to work quickly, likes to get the ball, get right back up on that rubber and throw the next pitch, and especially when he's commanding the curveball, you'll really see him start to work fast.
He's listed at 6'1", but I have a feeling the pants Ben Sheets is wearing would fit a guy who's 6'6". Hooked into the corner, fair ball for Soriano. And he garners his third 2-base hit of the year. Keeps the inning alive for his tourists.
That's very similar to the double he hit yesterday off Dave Bush to start the ball game on a breaking ball down low and away. A little bit fooled by the pitch, but able to reach out there and hook it back down into left field. Look at the location of this pitch. Strada's going down to block it. I've said it repeatedly. Soriano, a tremendous low ball hitter.
The last time through the order, Sheets did not allow a base runner. And remember what we told you earlier, he went 22 in a row in his first start against the Dodgers. One strike the count. Hardy backing up behind Soriano. And it's 1-1 on the switch hitting his Torres. All of his at-bats have come from the left side early in the year. It's possible we could see somebody else at shortstop, maybe Ronnie getting a start against the left-hander Capuano tomorrow. In tight.
Just looking at the numbers, I thought perhaps today would be a day for his Torres to take a day off. He was 2 for 18 against Ben Sheets coming into play today, but as you mentioned, with the left-hander going tomorrow, that's a more logical matchup for Ronnie Cedeno, and the right-hander Sheets on the mound today, a more logical matchup for his Torres, even though he hasn't had much success in the past. The manager always has to keep an eye on those matchups a day or two out in advance. See who the probable starters are for the opposing teams for the next 2 or 3 days and how your players match up against those starters, and it makes it a little bit easier to pick those off days.
Craig Counsell has room to end the inning. Runner stranded in scoring position. Cubs lead by 1.
Saturdays at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Welcome to California.
We cruise.
Fly.
We run.
We go with the flow.
We let go.
And we believe one simple thing.
That every day in California is your lucky day.
Is your lucky day. So there's just one thing you have to ask yourself.
How fast can you get here?
Find yourself in California. Fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to cities in California for just $129 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Come spring and summer, our yard is our family room. We sleep in there, but we definitely live out here. We like a healthy lawn, and it's got to be durable, and our lawn really is both.
A healthy lawn means that we can get out there, feel comfortable in the grass.
We use Scott's Turf Builder Plus 2. It feeds the lawn, and it kills dandelions.
We hate dandelions. We don't like to have them around.
I got some good old-fashioned grass stains on my pants. That's a sign of a good day. We had a lot of fun and want to do it again tomorrow. That's our Scott's lawn.
And now there's new Turf Builder Max, the weed and feed that also stops crabgrass.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones. Cool. Aqua Velva, men get it.
Interesting look with the mohawk, the old school Brewers jersey. 2-1 Cubs. Corey Hart golfs it foul. Coming into today, the Cubs had won 7 of their last 9 against Milwaukee going back to last year, and outscoring the Brewers 62-35 in the process. Today they lead by a run, looking for their 4th straight win and what would clinch a series victory after dropping 2 of 3 in Cincinnati. This has been a good home team. Milwaukee last year won 48, lost just 33 at Miller Park. The wind and the pitch. High pop fly. Not very deep, and Jones still coming over toward the line for the first out. Sign up for a subscription to Vineline, the official monthly magazine of the Chicago Cubs. Vineline offers exclusive player features, team analysis, Wrigley Field news, and Cubs minor league coverage. Subscriptions start at just $24.95. Call 1-800-248-9467 or visit Cubs.com to order Vineline today. Low and away on Counsell. I see you perusing the Cubs minor league report. Anything catch your eye?
Well, I see that the Peoria Chiefs, as Counsell grounds out easily to second base. Peoria Chiefs were colded out last night, so Miano's got a minor league doubleheader to look forward to at some point in the season.
Now they'll probably go 7 innings, right? At that level, I think
usually in the minor leagues, yeah, the doubleheaders go 7 and 7. Daytona Cubs got beat yesterday 3-2 in extra innings. Jeff Samardzija, yeah, 5 innings, a 1-hit baseball, looked really good. 5-hit baseball rather.
Sheets grounds out to his Torres. Zambrano handles the bottom of the order with no trouble at all. 2-1 Cubs.
Okay, class. If you're in the South, you say, "Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light."
Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light.
In New York, you say, "Hey, give me a Bud Light." You got a problem with that?
Bud Light, you got a problem with that.
In East LA, you say, "Give me a Bud Light, Holmes."
Give me a Bud Light, Holmes.
More importantly, if somebody asks you for a Bud Light, you say,
"Don't speak English."
Refreshingly smooth, Bud Light. Always worth it.
Bud Light?
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Roundup Extended Control. It kills tough weeds fast. It also prevents. Just spray wherever you don't want weeds, and you won't get weeds for up to 1, 2, 3 full months. Roundup Extended Control. Weeds have met their match.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2 meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2 meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2 meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Cubs 2, Milwaukee 1. Derek Lee looks at a bender for a strike. Back quickly comes Sheets, and it's low. And a few technical difficulties with our graphics today. Bear with us. We are working to rectify the situation, but it's so graphic we can't really get into it. Just trust us on this one.
Take your word for it.
Dribbled past Sheets, who stumbled off the mound, barehanded by Counsell. He'll eat it. Just put it in his pocket. Sheets had trouble navigating his way off the bump, and Lee gets to first with a single. He's 2 for 3.
Well, Ben Sheets is a very athletic pitcher. He fields his position well. He does, however, fall off to that first base side of the rubber after his delivery. You see, he has his back turned to the ball, has to regroup, slips slightly on the mound, and once that ball gets by Ben Sheets, that's going to be an infield hit for Derek Lee with his speed. Counsell with a nice barehanded play, but decides not to risk a throw.
Off the top of your head, can you name a guy of Derek's size who runs as well as he does? I like watching him go first to third.
Once he gets those long legs stretched out, covers a lot of ground with each step. But for a big guy, his acceleration is what's impressive. He gets out of the batter's box quickly. He has a quick first step when he's trying to steal a base. And nobody jumps to mind immediately. I mean, not since the days of Bo Jackson, maybe Dave Parker going back to his early days with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Outside on Ramirez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just looking at the Dave Winfield's stolen base numbers. 223. He was over 20 a few times. 6'6", 220. That's deep. Ramirez out of here. 2-run shot, and the Cubs lead by 3. That's his first homer of the year. Number 4 for the Cubs. I talked about the struggles of Ramirez against Sheets. That's his first career homer in 45 career at-bats versus this Brewers righty.
Came on a breaking ball. Sheets throws a curveball. Not that bad of a pitch down near the bottom of the strike zone, but Ramirez saw it well out of his hand, had the barrel of the bat on it, and the ball jumps out of this ballpark.
Infield single, 2-run homer, 4-1. Rolled up the middle.
And this is what a good hitting team will do to a pitcher. Ben Sheets, we've talked about it throughout the game, has a real good fastball, and he likes to challenge hitters with that fastball. The Cubs got on him a little bit early in the game. He's gone more to his secondary pitch, the curveball, and that's the pitch he's more likely to make mistakes with. Ramirez takes him deep. He throws another breaking ball to Jock Jones, and Jones lines it back up the middle of the field for a base hit. If you can force a guy away from his strength on the mound and to one of his secondary pitches, especially a pitch that is inconsistent, he's got a much better chance of making a mistake. And when pitchers make mistakes, that's when balls tend to leave the ballpark.
Veteran right-hander Elmer descends up for Milwaukee, recently acquired from the Dodgers. Runner on, nobody out, 2 in. And a strike. We got an email from Tim in Chicago. Said, Len and Bob, last night you guys mentioned how the Cubs have been able to develop their own talent. Rattled off a few players. I'm disappointed you guys failed to mention the only real accomplished talent developed by the Cubs, Carlos Zambrano. Off the mound, past Hardy. Jones will stop at second. 2 on with no outs. 4 straight hits, and it brings up DeRosa. So Tim says, what do you guys have to say about that? Well, Tim, you're right. Forgot to mention Carlos. Really, the point was last night's pitchers, Hill and Guzman. And then we sprinkled in a few other names, and we certainly apologize that we missed the most obvious one.
Well, that's because we knew we were going to talk a lot about Carlos today, so we were kind of saving him for today.
We appreciate the heads up, Tim. Len and Bob at AOL.com if you'd like to shoot us an email. That's 9 hits for the Cubs today after picking up 13 in the win last night.
I almost had a feeling that the Brewers are going to do some kind of a pickoff play there or have Sheets step off the mound. And Mike Quaddy was very insistent of getting the attention of the base runners as well as Mark DeRosa before he gave the signs. And anytime it's such a deliberate giving of the signs, that's usually a red flag to the other team. And the Brewers had Ben Sheets put on one of those inside moves to second base just to see if anything was going on. And that's why it's so important that not only the hitter but the base runners pay close attention to that third base coach. Don't make him get your attention. Be paying attention so he doesn't have to make a big deal out of giving signs. It should be just a natural flow in the timing of the game, and anytime that third base coach has to disrupt that timing and get the base runner's attention or get the hitter's attention, it's an automatic red flag to the other team that something might be on.
Two-1 to DeRosa, hit hard, but right at the shortstop. We're going to get out at second and not at first. It's dropped by fielder. Jones is not going to test him. And he's going to hang at third. So the Brewers only able to get one out. That should have been a double play because it was a rocket at Hardy. They had time, but the throw got past fielder.
Well, that nearly could have been a triple play because Jock Jones retreated back towards second base. He thought perhaps that hard hit sinking line drive might carry all the way to J.J. Hardy. So he went back a couple steps to second base. Matt Merton, another Cub base runner, going hard into that bag at second. Fielder just couldn't quite stretch out there far enough to make the play.
No error. You can't assume a double play. And the runners did not advance after the throw got away from the first baseman.
Another hard hit ball here in this inning. The outs have been tough.
Four to 1. DeRosa runs. Blanco swings. It's a fly to right. Jones is going to tag. Corey Hart setting up. Here comes the throw. It's going to drift way up the line, and Estrada had to make a diving play to keep that from getting behind him. Sacrifice fly for Henry, 5 to 1.
And you have to love this play, a hit and run with runners at first and third and one out and the pitcher on deck. The worst thing that can happen is a ground ball double play out of the inning and you don't push that run across. So Lou gets the runner at first base in motion. Henry Blanco lifts a high fly ball to right field, and the throw by Corey Hart well up the line at third base, allowing Jones to score easily.
Zambrano lifts it to left, and it's Jeff Jenkins to gather it in. Two-run homer, then the sac fly a little later, and the lead stretched out. It's 5-1 Cubs.
Now, see, when people think of Geico, right, they think of car insurance. And, of course, saving money. But sometimes that can lead even the savviest driver astray. Take, for example, the motorcycle owner. He calls Geico wanting to save money on his car insurance, only to realise that he doesn't actually own a car. Well, needless to say, he's quite embarrassed, doesn't he? Doesn't matter. Geico insures motorcycles and ATVs as well. That way, no one ends up looking foolish.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Allergies? Chlortrimeton. Hey, one dose of this, 6-hour relief. Chlortrimeton relieves itchy, watery eyes and sneezing for 12 full hours with less drowsiness than Benadryl. It does all that? Chlortrimeton, less drowsy relief that lasts 12 hours.
Roundup Extended Control. It kills tough weeds fast. It also prevents. Just spray wherever you don't want weeds, and you won't get weeds for up to 1, 2, 3 full months. Roundup Extended Control. Weeds have met their match.
America's funniest home videos, weeknights on Superstation WGN.
Chicks. Dig.
It's awfully hot in here.
Becker. I know you're attracted to me.
Ew.
He's smooth and sophisticated. Listen to me. Follow my lead.
I had a sex change operation.
Holy crap.
Someone has been working out.
Becker. Watch him operate 5 nights a week.
Late nights on Superstation WGN.
John McDonough, Cubs president, along with senior vice president on the left of Community Affairs and General Counsel Mike Lafrano, taking in the ball game, and the Cubs leading. Ramirez up with it, and on to first to get Ricky Weeks. Bottom 6, 5-1. Ramirez just hit a 2-run homer. Another huge crowd in Milwaukee. We hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend. Inside on Hardy. I'd like to send out congratulations to a good friend of WGN Sports, Ann Wartell. Ann gave birth to little Ryan last weekend, 7 pounds 5 ounces. Mom and baby are watching our Cubs game today on WGN Sports.
Congratulations.
Knee-high strike and a breaking ball, and he's ahead in the count. A lot of strikeouts early on. He had 4 in the first 2 innings, but only 1 since. Walked 2 in the 4th. The only time he's given up base runners was in that 4th inning. Carlos looking for his first win after losing on opening day. Not by much. 3-2. Rocks and fires, and it's fouled by Hardy right beneath Henry Blanco.
I'll tell you, Len, the pitch before this one, that appeared to be a slider there on the outside corner. Henry just can't quite hold on. That backdoor sinker to a right-handed hitter. We've seen Carlos working on it throughout the ball game today. He starts it just off of the outside corner, tails it back over the corner. If he starts to command that pitch consistently, you may as well go ahead and engrave his name on the Cy Young Award, because that will be an unhittable pitch.
3rd hit for Milwaukee.
Sinker that just caught way too much plate. You can see where Henry was set up that time. They wanted to go with that backdoor sinker I was just talking about, and that particular time it strayed back over the heart of the plate, and nice piece of hitting there by J.J. Hardy.
Being held on by Lee, and a swing and a miss by Fielder. Get into a 3-6 double play in the 4th inning as Derek Lee tagged first with his glove and then got it to his Taurus. He tagged Hardy at second. For the most part, Carlos has been hitting his spots all day.
And for the most part, when he has missed his spot, he's missed in his favor. When he's tried to hit the outside corner, he's usually missed further out away from the hitter, with the exception of that last pitch to J.J. Hardy that he lined into center field. Tries to go down low with the sinker, misses further down low.
It's cold in Cincy, but the bats are hot now. 6-5 Reds, bottom of the 4th. They lead Pittsburgh.
15 hits in that ball game already. Prince Fielder looks like he could use a bib. It's very similar to what his uniform looked like last night.
Two and 2 on him. Deep drive, right center. Jones and Soriano back. It's going to bounce off the warning track. It's going to send Hardy around 3rd. And it's now 5-2. Prince Fielder with a double. I didn't know if the park was going to hold this one.
Boy, this guy can hit. I'll tell you that. He reaches out and takes a sinker down low and away and hooks it back to that gap in right center field. He put it in an absolutely perfect position. Just split the gap perfectly. It's the deepest part of the ballpark out there in right center. It takes kind of a funny hop off that angled wall, but Jock Jones hustling over from right field to back up the play holds Fielder to a double.
And the bench coach discussing things. Zambrano now over 80 pitches on the day. He threw 92 in his first start. Another dangerous hitter, Bill Hall. Before the season, he signed a 4-year, $24 million contract. So he's signed through 2010, the club option for 2011. Matt Wise is up in the bullpen. Elmer descends is already ready for Milwaukee as he was getting loose earlier.
We're watching Henry Blanco give the signs to Carlos Zambrano. We'll see what he does this time. With a runner at second base, generally you use a sequence of signs so that runner can't relay anything. And that time a brief effort at a sequence of signs. On the two previous pitches, however, Henry was just hanging down one sign. And of course, Prince Fielder, the runner at second, can peer in there and see those signs easily. You have to keep a close eye on that runner at second base at all times to make sure he's not doing anything to tip off the hitter as to the location or what particular pitch might be coming.
Cubs pen cranked up, air and words. Carlos screamed at himself after that last pitch.
Could be a fastball away.
Fly ball, not deep. Soriano calling off Merton. Fielder tagging, but he's not going anywhere. And there are 2 outs. Let's take a look at today's Honda Civic game summary. Mark DeRosa continues his hot start with an RBI triple in the second inning. Carlos Zambrano, a couple of batters later, knocked home DeRosa. And then Aramis Ramirez with a 2-run blast in the 6th. Cubs will add another on a sac fly. Milwaukee with single tallies in the 4th and the 6th. Today's Honda Civic game summary. Get performance and save gas. Test drive a new Civic at your Honda dealer today. The pitch to Johnny Estrada is low, ball 1. Other action today over in the American League. Detroit and Kansas City are 1-1 as they play the top of the 3rd. Gary Sheffield, his first Tiger home run. Baltimore leading the Yankees 7-3. They're in the upper half of the 5th in the Bronx. Foul tip for a strike, 1-1. Rangers later tonight will host Boston. Sammy Sosa had what was a game-winning RBI in the first inning last night as Texas beat the Red Sox 2-0.
Another pitch that didn't miss by much, just nibbling around the edges of the plate. Brewers are getting their signs from alternate manager sitting in the front row. Right ear means hit, left ear means bunt.
High drive. Jones is backpedaling. Now on the warning track, trying to find the fence. He didn't get back that far. And he hauls it in. They get a run on 2 hits. It's 5-2 as we go to the 7th.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi.
What's going on here?
Josh told I kick that Blizzard, and he won't give it back. Josh.
Dad! That's awesome! Dad! Sure you don't want it?
Hey!
Hang on to yours. The new Kit Kat Blizzard at Dairy Queen. Real chunks of Kit Kat chocolate bars and our famous DQ soft serve. Do one.
Single again. Will I still look eligible with gray hair? Is that all people will see? How do you make a clean break?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Dating again is easier than I thought. And you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
The nuclear bomb is located, yet the threat is far from over.
Are you going to be able to disarm it?
Doesn't look good. Next 24, tonight at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Time to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. Sausage race time. How do you handicap it today, Bob?
Well, I guess, wrong again. I went with chorizo today. Bratwurst and hot dog are yet to win a race this season.
Italian around the final turn into the home stretch. Here comes Italian. Hey, can he overtake him at the wire? No, it's number.
So the Polish wins it today. Elmer Descends is on for Milwaukee in relief of Ben Sheets. Top of the order for the Cubs. 5-2 as we get into the back third today. So Ben Sheets went 6 innings, 9 hits. He gave up 5 runs. He hasn't walked anybody through 2 starts. He struck out 3, gave up a home run, threw 100 pitches and a lot of strikes, 68, found the zone. 1 left the park. That was Ramirez with a 2-run shot in the 6th. Look out, Alfonso. Backed him up.
But Descends a sinker slider pitcher. This is a sinker that just gets away from him up and into Alfonso Soriano.
Descends was acquired from the Dodgers on March 26th in exchange for outfielder Brady Clark. The Brewers were outfield heavy, so they were able to supplement their bullpen and move Brady Clark to the Dodgers. Fielder will field, Descends will cover, and they get the out.
Not as routine a play as you might think. That easy ground ball to the first baseman. Fielder was playing well off the first base line and deep for Soriano. Every time you have to make that long toss to the pitcher covering the bag, the timing of the play can get messed up.
His Torres is nothing out of 3. We want to wish a happy birthday to our colleague and good friend Tamara Anderson and her twin brother Terry. Terry lives in Florida, huge Cub fan. We'll see Tamara back in Chicago next week. A little warmer in Florida today. Descends with a 1-1. Low and outside. Derek Lee on deck. The 1 and 2 hitters just crucial in this Cubs lineup. If you're an opposing pitcher, you got to get these guys, because if not, you're going to face Lee, Ramirez. Jones today hitting 5th. Cliff Floyd will be in the lineup at times. Fair ball past Counsell. Cesar hustling. Here's a throw by Jenkins. Save. For Cesar in the first week.
Well, that is just a hustle double right there. He was running hard out of the batter's box. The ball gets by Craig Counsell at third. Torres sees that ball by the third baseman. He's going to take a big aggressive turn and see what happens with Jeff Jenkins out there in left field. And when Jenkins was a little slow getting over to the ball, his Torres just decided to head on into second base. A real quick, aggressive pop-up slide just ahead of the tag of Ricky Weeks. Well, I can't overstate how important it is to run hard out of the batter's box. You don't get a double running hard from first to second. You get a double or a triple running hard right out of the batter's box. It's always easier to hit the brakes and stay at first base than it is to try to accelerate and sneak into second later.
Two strikes on Lee.
About as much reaction as you'll see from Derek Lee on a pitch he doesn't like. Just a little bit of a grimace, kind of made a face, and then got right back in the batter's box.
Ground ball right side and through as Torres sent home by Quaddy. No throw toward the plate from Hart. Derek Lee with his first RBI of the year. 6-2.
Everything that happens on a baseball field works well together. That time as Torres doubles, Ricky Weeks at second base was jockeying him back close to the bag out there and was just far enough out of position that Derek Lee could sneak that ground ball through the right side for a base hit and an RBI. The concern with the runner at second base, making sure he didn't get too much of a lead, pulled Ricky Weeks out of his position, and Derek Lee found the hole.
Ramirez. We apologize, having some issues with our lower third graphics this afternoon. We are working on it feverishly. Pop foul out of play. Currently the Cubs infield, the batting averages at first base, Derek Lee at 429, 438 at second base, 316 at short, 476 at third. It's pretty good. Only the 5th game of the year, but you like what you see, and it really heated up indoors this weekend.
Ramirez getting some good hacks, and Elmer descends here in this at bat. Had the 2-0 count in his favor, fouled one off. 2-1 pitch right there down the middle of the plate. Just missed that one, fouled it straight back.
Two and two, and first to throw to first, with Lee getting back. At this point, the 4th straight quality start. Zambrano allowing 2 runs in 6 innings. That'll probably continue on. Outside on Ramirez. Wade Miller will make his season debut tomorrow against Chris Capuano. Something has to give. Miller's been better against the Brewers than any team he's faced in his career, and the same goes for Capuano against the Cubs. In fact, the lefty did not allow a run all year against the Cubs last year. Lee was running, so the only out is at first. This year, when you can't be at home to watch the Cubs on TV, check out MLB.tv. You can watch every out-of-market game of the season live online, even when you're traveling. And this year, live radio broadcasts are included with a subscription to MLB.tv. For more details, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on.
Well, if you're a fan of the pickoff attempt, tomorrow is your day, because Chris Capuano will attempt to pick off every Cub runner that gets on base.
And we hope there are a lot of them.
Yeah. It's a real good move. He'll throw from the high leg kick. He'll throw from the slide step. He has a step off move to first base.
An RBI chance for Jones with a runner at second. Nine runs last night, 6 today. And everybody in the lineup has a hit except for Henry Blanco, but he knocked in a run with a sac fly in his third plate appearance. Carlos with an RBI hit in the second. Weeks will have to charge, but he has a very short throw. Cubs get yet another run. They've scored 4 times the last 2 innings and lead 6-2.
Sorry, dude. Only got one left. Hey, I'm gonna grab some nachos. Walter! Watch my Bud Light, buddy.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Does Walter like nachos?
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Long live your car.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2 meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2 meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2 meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
When I'm riding, I can't let my allergy medicine put me in a fog. So I only ride Claritin Clear. Claritin works hard to relieve my worst allergy symptoms. Sneezing, runny nose, for a full 24 hours. In fact, it works so well, only Claritin is proven to make me alert and focused. And it doesn't make me drowsy, like some other medicines can. When I get allergy relief and stay razor sharp, I'm ahead from start to finish. Stay alert, stay focused, live Claritin Clear.
America's funniest home videos, weeknights on Superstation WGN.
Big Z continues on. Probably be his last inning. Jenkins is fanned twice. Fourth on the Brewers all-time home run list with 191. All-time leader Robin Yount with 251. He was here 2 full decades. Greg Aquino, former Diamondback, is up. Gorman Thomas, Cecil Cooper also ahead of Jenkins. We mentioned last night was Charlie Moore mini bobblehead night. I saw another former Brewers great, part-time coach Jim Gantner. I said, Jim, when's your bobblehead night? He said, January. Call him Gumby.
Gumby knew how to have fun as a player, and he's having fun as a part-time coach too.
High and deep to right, and Jones is already giving up. Zambrano not even watching. Now he takes a peek back as Jenkins with home run number 192 And his first of the year, 6-3. Carlos knew it, Jones knew it, Jenkins did too.
Jenkins, to use a golf term, he doesn't leave anything in the bag. If he's going to swing the bat, he's going to swing hard with a little bit of an uppercut, and that time caught it pure out in front of home plate. A long home run to right field. Believe it or not, he has shortened his swing up considerably this year. You talked about the leg kick not being as exaggerated as it has been in the past, and his swing is not nearly as long as it's been in the past.
Lou talked about his MO when he goes out to the mound. Normally, he goes out and already calls for the relief pitcher when he steps out of the dugout. But this was not one of those cases.
And you may have noticed that signal that Lou gave to the dugout before he turned to walk back. Get them both going, righty and a lefty.
Well, Wirtz and Air were getting loose earlier, so it will not take them long. And Scott Air could get ready in about 40 seconds. Two strikes.
And that may have been a visit to the mound. I mean, Lou is still learning his personnel, and certainly after opening day, he learned very quickly that Carlos is an emotional guy out there on the mound. And after serving up that home run, I think Lou just wanted to make sure that Carlos still had his head on his shoulders, wasn't going to let this game get away from him at this point. And apparently whatever Carlos told Lou was good enough, so he headed on back to the dugout, and Zambrano has executed a couple of good pitches here to Corey Hart.
And it was a bit of a more relaxed visit than the one we saw the other night in the 9th inning, where he went out with a purpose, said one quick sentence to Ryan Dempster, and walked right back. Dempster had no problem with it at all, and he ended up picking up the save. Getting kind of shaggy out there in the bullpen. Swing and a miss and a strikeout.
High riding fastball this time to Corey Hart. Carlos has gotten a couple of strikeouts on high fastballs today. That one probably not the location he was hoping for, but the result is good.
Now Craig Counsell, who will be recognized prior to the Brewers Marlins game in Florida on Monday, as the Marlins celebrate the 10th anniversary of the 1997 World Series. He scored the game-winning run. He's been involved in a couple of Game 7 rallies in the World Series. Not too many players in the history of the game can say they've been a part of it like Craig Counsell has been.
Scored the winning run in Game 7 of the Florida series. Got hit by a Mariano Rivera pitch. Look at that play.
Derek Lee backed up on it and made it look easy, and it wasn't.
They've said for years that Johnny Bench ruined a lot of young catchers because of the way he went about his business. But Johnny Bench was special. Derek Lee is special down there at first base. Backs up 3 or 4 steps, fields that ball behind his body, turns his back to the base, wheels around, and throws a perfect strike to Zambrano right on the bag. Man, what a play. Carlos with another athletic play defensively, gets off that mound quickly. He's fired up. He knows Derek Lee just made a nice play behind him. Just to finish up quickly on Craig Counsell, of all the players I had in my short managerial career, he is the one that I think is most likely to be a manager in the big leagues someday if he chooses to go that route. Great student of the game, so alert, so instinctive, and he's one of those guys that had to work extremely hard for everything that came his way in his major league career, and I think he'll make somebody a great manager someday if he chooses to go in that direction.
Tony Gwynn pinch hitting. DeRosa to lead. Quinn is out. Probably it for Zambrano. If it is, 7 innings today, 3 runs, and has a chance for his first win.
Sunday on WGN. Torrey and the Twins are in town for an early season showdown. Sox Twins coverage starts at 1:30 today on WGN.
Okay, now what? Rock, paper, scissors for it? Okay, that's fair. On 3? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I threw paper.
I threw a rock.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Low 5.
Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off piece of that Kit Kat. Oops. Take a break and head to Dairy Queen for the new Kit Kat Blizzard. Loaded with real chunks of Kit Kat candy bars and our creamy DQ soft serve. Do one.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Hot fudge shake made with Oreo cookies. New at Sonic. Yummy bits of a favorite childhood cookie blended with hot fudge into a cool, creamy treat. Sonic's new hot fudge shake made with Oreo cookies. Pay the Sonic way. Swipe your credit or My Sonic card from your car.
The Cubs take the field for the home opener at the friendly confines. Cubs, Astros, Monday at 2 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Time now for our Bud Light Fan Cam. Milwaukee Rockers Luminol with I'm Waiting. Bud Light and our WGN Sports Bud Light Fan Cam. Always worth it. Excellent new tune from Luminol. Greg Aquino's on for Milwaukee. 6-3 Cubs. Matt Merton looks at a strike. Guy with the mohawk kind of looked like me in the open. I think I had some static electricity working in the back of my head.
Those quick turnarounds, day games after night games, you have to comb your hair with a pillow sometimes.
Behind second, Hardy, and they get it. Just thinking of our WGN Sports crew and our production truck. They haven't had that problem with their hair sticking up in the back. And a strike on DeRosa.
We saw Michael Wirtz and Scott Air beginning to throw in that last inning when Carlos was on the mound. Now Bob Howery, the guy, beginning to heat it up in earnest. We saw a lot of handshakes in that third base dugout. It appears Carlos Zambrano's afternoon is over. It's a high fives and fist bumps over the third base dugout. Good outing by Carlos today. Good bounce back after a rocky start to the season.
I need a call on this one. As far as foul ball etiquette, there was a gentleman right in front of the press box who got his hands on the DeRosa foul. Made a good effort. He just couldn't come up with it. It was a real tough play. In fact, Lou Piniella just almost made a play in the Cubs dugout. The fans scrambled after the gentleman didn't get it, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think I would have given that guy the ball. He made a really good effort and just didn't come up with it. Backing up, Counsell, long throw, and he got it. I guess it just kind of depends on the situation. If it's a kid, you give it to him.
Always give it to the kid. And this foul ball over to the third base dugout. Lou Piniella makes a one-handed attempt, gets a piece of it, slows it down. Might have saved some fans up there in the front row.
Former American League Rookie of the Year with Kansas City. Lou has a connection to this Brewers franchise, which began as the Seattle Pilots in 1969. Lou was taken by the Pilots in the expansion draft in October of '68. He was a 28th pick. Going to hang up for Bill Hall, who makes a waist-high catch. More on Lou and his playing career a little bit later. 6-3, a little more luminol as we go to break.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Long live your car.
This is the ultimate indoor RC helicopter. Introducing Reflex from Air Hogs. The new radio-controlled copter with dual thrust propellers for precision control. Forward, backward, up, down, left, and right. Take Reflex places no other copter has gone before. Amazing precision control, indoors and out. Small enough to land in the palm of your hand. Powerful enough to take to the skies. Amazing performance at the touch of your fingertips. You get the Reflex with the dual thrust propellers, the 6-way controller, the AC charger, backup rotors, and the display case. Plus, we'll also include our brand new flight simulator, so you can use it on your PC for even more outrageous fun. And you can get all this for 2 payments of $34.95. It's Reflex from Air Hogs. Must be 18 years or older to call or log on.
To order, call 1-800-618-9859. That's 1-800-618-9859. Must be 18 or older to order.
American Idol Rewind, Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
Here's Bob Howry coming on in the 8th inning. Let's check out our upcoming Cubs and Sox high-definition broadcast schedule. Sponsored by Comcast. Sox and Twins tomorrow. Easter Sunday, beginning with Sox warm-up at 12:30. The Wrigley Field home opener for the Cubs Monday against the Astros. Ted Lilly will take the ball. We're on the air at 12:30 with Next Year Is Here. Wednesday, Cubs and Astros leadoff man at 1. Sox and Cubs baseball on WGN Sports in HD, sponsored by Comcast. So we're underway, bottom 8. The 6-3 Cubs. Howry's looking for a better outing than his last performance.
Now, 2/3 of an inning against the Reds, gave up a couple of base hits, a walk, sacrifice bunt in his outing against the Reds when the bullpen kind of had a collective meltdown. A couple of wild pitches, a pass ball. Game really got away.
And it was the walk to Ryan Friel that really gnawed at Bob. Said, I hate walking guys. These Brewers can score runs, so this game is not out of hand by any stretch. The Cubs leading 6-3. Zambrano went 7, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks. He struck out 6, allowed 2 home runs. And it's the 4th consecutive quality start for the Cubs. It's low, 2-2. Zambrano threw 109 pitches. Here comes Howery, popped up behind the plate. 1 out. Former Brewers closer and all-star, now the setup guy for Francisco Cordero, Derek Turnbow. They need a big year from him. Strike on Hardy. Kick and the pitch. 1-1. Last year, Howery in his first year as a Cub tied the franchise single season record with a career best 84 appearances. He was 4th in the majors in games pitched. In 05, set an Indians club record with 79 appearances. Another pop-up. This one in short center. Soriano with the catch.
Hey, music fans, singer-songwriter Josh Kelly will be at the House of Blues Chicago on Wednesday, April 18th at 7 o'clock, part of the Bud Light Concert Series. This is one of his hits, Amazing. You can check out tickets to see Josh by logging on to Ticketmaster.com, going to the House of Blues box office, or HOB.com, or by calling Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212. That's Josh Kelly, April 18th at the House of Blues Chicago. You got to check it out.
Fielder took it for ball 2.
You mentioned the 84 appearances for Bob Howery last year, Lennon. I don't know if I've ever seen a pitcher with 84 more consistent appearances, as steady as a relief pitcher could possibly be in his role with the club under very trying circumstances last year.
He's from the Valley out in Arizona. Born in Phoenix, he lives in Glendale. The single season record that he tied Ted Abernathy with 84 appearances in 1965, Dick Tidrow in 1980.
I believe it was Dick Tidrow that has been given credit for the phrase a dirt man out of the bullpen, signifying a pitcher that is neither a starter nor a closer. You're one of those guys in the middle that really don't get the credit they deserve. He called himself a dirt man. I'm proud of it.
Fielder strikes out Howery with a perfect 8th inning. We'll see Dempster get loose here in a moment. 6-3 to the 9th.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares even farther. Visit southwest.com.
Answer the call of the wild with outrageous animal antics and stupid human tricks, all caught on camera. When it comes to all things funny, you're barking up the right tree. Funniest Pets and People, Tuesdays at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Searching other websites for low fares? Better get comfortable. Fly one of Southwest Airlines' 7 daily nonstops from Chicago Midway to Long Island for just $39 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones.
Cool.
Aqua Velva, men get it.
Oh, give it back! What's going on here?
Josh stole my Kit Kat Blizzard, and he won't give it back!
Josh. Dad! That's awesome!
Dad!
Sure you don't want it?
Hey! Hang on to yours. The new Kit Kat Blizzard at Dairy Queen. Real chunks of Kit Kat chocolate bars and our famous DQ soft serve. Do one.
Sunday on WGN. Tori and the Twins are in town for an early season showdown. Sox Twins coverage starts at 1:30 today on WGN.
Another sellout today, 41-282. So back-to-back sellouts, Cubs and the Brewers this weekend. And the Cubs lead 6-3. They'll try to tack on in the ninth. Darrell Ward is the pinch hitter against Greg Aquino. Base hit for Darrell Ward. So he's 1 for 2 to start the year. He's 1 for 1. He walked in his first appearance of the year. So he's batting 1,000. And a pinch runner, Ryan Theriot, will take over for Ward. Speaking of Darrell Ward, the list of Cubs players who will wear number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson's debut, the 60th anniversary. It was originally going to be just Derek Lee, but now Darrell Ward, Jock Jones, Cliff Lloyd added to the list. I believe the Cardinals' entire team is going to do it. I wouldn't be surprised, Bob. We're a week away. It's next Saturday, the 15th. We might see everybody in baseball wear 42, and that might be the most fitting tribute.
I think that's a good call. We joked about it last night. Official scorekeepers around baseball might not be crazy about it, but I think it would be a fitting tribute.
It will be a nameless 42 on the Cubs jersey, so no name on the back, just the number 42 on April 15th. Bounced foul. They said Saturday the 15th, actually Sunday. Oh, that's embarrassing.
See, when it happens to a player, you don't have the luxury of going over and sitting down and hiding your face behind the glove. You got to stand out there and field the next one that comes your way. But I'm sure she'll be up to the task.
Called strike 3. Soriano's out.
Kind of a stand him up breaking ball here. Started it right at Soriano, dropped it over the inside corner. I think the Brewers and the Reds have seen enough of Alfonso Soriano and breaking balls down low and away from him and what he can do with that pitch. So they tried to throw it on the other side of the plate, and that time got a called strike 3.
1 out, and the batter is his tourist. Do you get the impression that Ryan Theriot might appear in 162 games this year? He hasn't made a start yet, but he's been in all 5.
He'll get his opportunity to start some games this year as well, but that's Ryan Theriot's value to this ball club. He does so many things well. He's come in as a defensive replacement in left field. He's been used as a pinch runner. He'll be used as a pinch hitter in bunt situations on occasion.
I'm sure there's a note out there somewhere. The player who's played in the most games with the fewest starts in Major League history. I'd be curious to know who it is.
I'd bet money on Herb Washington at this point without even thinking about it. Herb Washington was a player that the Oakland A's carried on their roster strictly as a pinch runner. He was a world-class sprinter, had never played baseball, and those were in the days of Charlie Finley and all of his innovative ideas in baseball. And he was used strictly as a pinch runner.
Well, in 1974, he appeared in 92 games, had 0 official at-bats. In fact, his entire career had no official at-bats. He stole 29 bases that year, 13 appearances in 1975. So his career consisted of 105 career games and no at-bats. Hardy stops it on the dive, the flip, they get the out there, the relay is in time, and wow, what a double play turned by the Brewers. Hardy and Weeks teaming up to get Aquino out of the 9th inning. Bottom 9, Cubs lead by 3.
It's down to the final 5.
We hit it out of the ballpark tonight.
And this is the night.
I do not believe you can compete with
RJ walks off. But is this the end for him? American Idol Rewind.
Sunday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
For years, man has known about the advantage of twin blades.
Smooth.
Now there's the twin blade advantage from Honda. Twin blades mean finer clippings when mulching to feed your lawn. They also mean more bagging capacity and less emptying. And of course, Honda means it's built to last. The twin blade advantage, exclusively on Honda mowers.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2 meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2 meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2 meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
Do you know your credit score? Do you know what's in your credit report? You can find out for free right now at freecreditreport.com.
Knowing my credit score helped me save money on my home loan.
Now we can monitor all 3 of our national credit reports every day.
It helps us save money and check for potential identity theft.
Just a few clicks, and I get my credit report and credit score free.
Log on now to freecreditreport.com.
Offer applies with the Roman Triple Advantage.
I have a feeling that guy in the middle might be a Ryan Dempster fan. His hair isn't that much longer than the Cubs closer. 3-run lead. He came in with a 3-run lead Wednesday and preserved the Cubs' 4-1 win. Hall, Estrada, and Jenkins due up for Milwaukee. Last of the 9th. Dempster trying to save it for Zambrano. One strike on Hall. Dempster's climbing up the charts on the Cubs saves list, tied with Phil Regan for 4th with 60 career saves. Long way to go to get to 3rd. Randy Myers with 112. The Cubs all-time leader Lee Smith with 180. Then Bruce Sutter, Randy Myers, Dempster, and Regan tied for 4th. Dempster, Canadian born. The cold doesn't bother him too much, even though we are indoors.
Nice bounce back play there by the young lady fielding the foul balls down the 3rd base line. Didn't have to hide her face this time. What'd you expect?
Fly to right. Jones is still going back. Now he sets and he makes a catch about 5 feet in front of the barrier. Well, the first appearance for Ryan Dempster, the headline later was about this visit. He was struggling a bit with his command. You see some snow flurries. 3-run lead. 30 degrees. Throw a strike. That was the message. And it was received. And a hug from the manager at the end.
Yeah, and you're right, Demps, he wasn't bothered at all by it. Sometimes that's all part of the learning process for a new manager with his new ball club, is figure out which buttons to push to make guys be at their best out there on the mound, and sometimes that involves some spirited encouragement.
The great line is, we weren't talking mechanics.
Yeah, I think you're dropping your elbow just a little bit. No, it wasn't any of that stuff. Yeah, I bet Lou Piniella probably walks about 2 miles a day backwards, 2 steps at a time. You see him engaged in a conversation with a player or with a fan or something, and just in the middle of the conversation, all of a sudden he'll take 2 steps backwards.
Swing and a miss. 2 away in the 9th. Cubs trying to get over 500 for the first time.
Well, look at the movement on that pitch. I would assume that's the splitter because it went down and away from the left-handed hitter. We've talked in the past about Ryan Dempster's pitches and how hard it is to identify which one is which, but judging from the movement on that pitch, looked like a real good splitter.
This would also be the Cubs' first winning streak of the year. Would be at 2 and counting. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 strike away. Be the first win for Carlos Zambrano in the month of April in a while. He went winless last year in the first month. Struck him out and the Cubs win. Handshakes all around. And the Cubs have already clinched this series. They will go for the sweep tomorrow. More timely hitting. 12 hits for the Cubs. They have 25 in the series. And another quality start and a great job by the bullpen.
I'll tell you, a win is a win is a win, and you'll take them any way you can get them. But this was a real clean ball game. Some nice defensive plays behind the Cubs pitching staff. Some big pitches by Carlos Zambrano, Bob Howery, and Ryan Dempster, and offense scattered up and down the lineup.
So the final from Milwaukee, Cubs 6, Brewers 3. Ryan Dempster with a 1-2-3 ninth, including a couple of strikeouts to end it. A terrific pitch to get Jenkins and seal the win. We'll be back.
Girl, this is where all the action is. Hallelujah!
Get ready to get Mo funky.
She's that kind of girl. She's funky.
Get Mo outrageous.
Are you saying I can't keep a man? No, I'm saying a man won't keep you.
Ooh. Get Mo attitude.
No restrictions, no rules, no parents. It's your dad.
Get Mo for your funny.
Who's saying that?
Her. Moesha 5 times a week.
Everybody say Moesha.
Weekdays at 4 on Superstation WGN.
Allergies? Chlortrimeton. Hey, 1 dose of this, 6-hour relief. Chlortrimeton relieves itchy, watery eyes and sneezing for 12 full hours with less drowsiness than Benadryl. It does all that? Chlortrimeton, less drowsy relief that lasts 12 hours.
Separate yourself from the herd. The innovative Ridgeline from Honda.
Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off piece of that Kit Kat. Oops. Take a break and head to Dairy Queen for the new Kit Kat Blizzard. Loaded with real chunks of Kit Kat candy bars and our creamy DQ soft serve. Do one.
The final today, the Cubs 6, the Brewers 3, 12 hits for the Cubs as they pound the baseball once again. They've been in double digits the last 3 days in the hit column. Zambrano beats Sheets. Ryan Dempster's 2 for 2 in saves. Another sellout here in Milwaukee. Today's Budweiser play of the game. We're going to go with a home run by Aramis Ramirez. This was in the 6th inning off Ben Sheets.
Ramirez flexing his muscles on a breaking ball out over the plate. Just one of a number of Cubs who start in this ball game today, either offensively, defensively, or on the mound.
Born in America, enjoyed around the world. This is Budweiser. This is beer. Our next telecast of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. It'll be the 92nd home opener at Wrigley Field Monday against the Astros, 12:30 Central Time, with Next Year Is Here, hosted by Dan Roan. Once again, the final today, Cubs 6, Brewers 3. We'll have a final word after this.
Through the ups and downs, we still believe.
I mean, it's a story. Look at the great players that played here, the Ernie Banks and the Billy Williams and the Fergie Jenkins and the Ryan Sandbergs and the Ron Santos that go on. You can go on. And the Ivy. And the bleacher bombs, and the people that come out here religiously and faithfully and passionately to support this organization. You know, it's something to be said. It really is. And I'm just so happy and so pleased and so excited to be given this opportunity. And I'm going to work as hard as I humanly can, and my coaching staff will do the same to ensure that this ends up very, very successful.
The stage has been set, and the big players are ready. Next year is here. The season of hope is alive. Cubs baseball on Superstation WGN.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2 meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2 meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2 meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
Carlos Zambrano now keeping it going. 4 straight quality starts for the Cubs. He gets his first win in the month of April.
I think there were a couple of turning points in this ball game where Carlos got himself into a little bit of trouble in the 4th inning. A leadoff homer followed by a walk, but then got a big double play. He got himself into some jams, but he pitched himself out of some jams, kept himself in control today, and was outstanding.
Final 6-3 Cubs. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow. Stay tuned. The Chevy Dealers 10th inning show is right around the corner.
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light, always worth it. Comcast, hit a home run with Comcast Digital Voice Home Phone Service. Call today for a great offer. The Illinois Lottery, no matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
We're gonna dim the lights and get busy. It's down to the final 5.
We hit it out of the ballpark tonight.
And this is the night.
I do not believe you can compete with...
RJ walks off.
RJ!
But is this the end for him? American Idol Rewind.
Sunday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Now, see, when people think of Geico, right, they think of car insurance. And, of course, saving money.
But sometimes that can lead even the savviest driver astray. Take, for example, the motorcycle owner. He calls Geico wanted to save money on his car insurance, only to realise that he doesn't actually own a car. Well, needless to say, he's quite embarrassed, isn't he? Doesn't matter. Geico insures motorcycles and ATVs as well. That way, no one ends up looking foolish.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
What I love about her?
What I love about him.
How much time do we have?
I love Thomas because he's just...
I really actually couldn't even begin to tell you what I love about her because it's pretty much everything. I love everything about Sharon. Everything.
Everything. I love him as he is.
Well, look at her. She's incredible.
He's the most romantic man I've ever met.
I know that when I'm with Kathy, we're gonna be happy, and we're gonna be happy next week and next month and next year.
eHarmony.com. Log on today.
She's perfect, he's a pest, and they're getting even. Even Stevens, weekday afternoons on Superstation WGN.
This is the Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show, brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevrolet dealers.
6-3 Cubs as they beat the Brewers in what the Cub fans call Wrigley Field North. So they'll go for the 3-game sweep tomorrow. Carlos Zambrano bested Ben Sheets in a Titanic matchup today. It was Carlos getting his first win of the season, Dempster the save, and the Cubs win their second in a row. They're 3-2 on the year. We'll have more from Bob Brenly when we come back.
Jack really loves the ladies. And this lady really loves Jack. Winner of 5 primetime Emmys. Give me a name! Including outstanding directing. Where's the target? Outstanding drama series.
Push that, drop it!
And outstanding lead actor Kiefer Sutherland.
Tell me where the bomb is!
See why Emmy loves Jack.
Put it down!
24 weekends. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
We're gonna dim the lights.
And get busy. It's down to the final 5.
We hit it out of the ballpark tonight.
And this is the night.
I do not believe you can compete with
RJ walks off.
RJ!
But is this the end for him? American Idol Rewind.
Sunday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Arrivederci, baby.
Why?
I'm tired of old New York.
Well, if you're tired, you take a Napa. You don't move to Napa.
On the next Sex in the City.
Can you make a mistake and miss your fate? It's the end of an era.
I just always thought that you two would end up together.
Carrie.
Next Sex in the City.
Tonight at 11 Eastern on WGN.
Here's today's sweet defensive play of the game. 7th inning, Derek Lee. Just hand him the Gold Glove right now. It would be his 3rd career Gold Glove.
He's a bag of sugar down there at first base. He makes sweet plays every day behind his pitchers. A good feed to Carlos Zambrano right there. The Big Z's pumped up.
Thank you, Culvers. 6-3 the final score today. So the Cubs now getting on a roll. They've won the first 2 here in Milwaukee, and we could talk all areas, really, the pitching, the defense, and the offense. Let's start. You have to score runs, so the Cubs began this series by scoring 6 times in the first inning last night, and we've just seen that collective confidence build throughout the weekend.
You can almost feel it, especially when we got here to Milwaukee. There were a couple of rough games in Cincinnati. They ran up against some pretty good pitching in Cincinnati, but they came here to Milwaukee, and the bats have really come to life. And I think the thing that impresses me as much as anything, Len, smart at bats. at-bats. We're seeing guys make adjustments. They know what that opposing pitcher is trying to do to them, and as the game progresses, the at-bats got smarter and smarter, and that's going to result in more base hits.
The Cubs have been aggressive on the bases in certain areas. You pointed out a hit and run with the 8th hitter up at the plate, and Henry ended up with a sac fly.
Well, I really like that myself. As we said at the time, the worst thing that can happen, that first and third one-out situation, is a ground ball double play. You get out of the inning, you have your pitcher leading off the next half inning, so Lou likes to get those runners in motion. It benefits the hitter. It opens some holes in the defense, and in today's instance, it allowed Henry Blanco to hit that sac fly to right field and drive home a run.
Pitching and defense go hand in hand. The idea is to prevent the other team from scoring, and the starters are really grooving now. 4 consecutive quality starts.
Yeah, and don't think that the offense doesn't have anything to do with that either. Believe me, when the Cubs pitchers look down that dugout and see the bats lined up ready to go up and take their hacks, they know that they don't have to be perfect when they go out there to take the mound. They just have to keep their team in the ball game, make their pitches, let the defense work behind them, and the byproduct has been some real clean games.
What did Carlos do today that he didn't do on Monday?
Much better command. Better command of all of his pitches, and we talked about it during the course of the telecast. Even when he missed his spots, he wasn't missing by much, and he was missing in his favor. In his game in Cincinnati, when he missed the zone, he tended to miss high in the strike zone, pitches that were much easier to hit, but today he had everything working. A very good rhythm, was working quickly on the mound, and for the most part was pounding that strike zone.
There are a lot of big storylines to follow here in the first week. Maybe the biggest is the fact that Ryan Dempster has gone 2 for 2 in save opportunities. I expected him to come back and be pretty good this year, but we've talked about early on in April, you really need that 9th inning to get locked down, and he's done it twice.
Nothing is more devastating to a ball club early in the season than to have a game in hand, bring your closer in, and let the game get away. But Lou Piniella went out to the mound in Cincinnati, told Ryan, hey, this is your job. This is what we want you to do with this ball club. Get your job done. And Ryan Dempster admitted last year he went away from his fastball a little bit too much. He's got a great splitter, he's got a great slider, but it all works off that fastball, and Ryan believes in his fastball this year.
And then onto the defense, a couple of errors in one inning last night. There was another error in Cincinnati, but that was on Michael Barrett on a catcher's interference. But so far so good, and Alfonso Soriano has looked good in center field.
He has looked good. He's just really allowed his athletic ability to take over. Some of the lines that he's taken to the balls haven't been textbook, but because he is so fast, he is so quick, he gets great jumps, he's able to make up for it when he does take a bad line to the ball. And the thing that's been most impressive is the communication between the outfielders. There's been some tweeners hit, left center, right center field. Alfonso Soriano has taken charge of that outfield, and he's called off the corner outfielders to make the plays.
What do you look for tomorrow? Wade Miller makes his season debut.
I look for some big overhand curve balls. He'll change speeds a lot. He'll move the ball in and out, up and down. Wade Miller, unlike some of the other pitchers in the Cubs rotation, is not going to stand out there and power fastballs by hitter, but he knows how to pitch. He knows how to use experience to his advantage.
Hey, it's only game 6 tomorrow, but a win, you go home 4-2. A loss, you're 3-3. Really like to see him step on their throat tomorrow.
Well, you know, you go home 4-2 on a road trip through Cincinnati and Milwaukee early in the season, you'll take that.
All right, so the Cubs win today to go over 500 for the first time. We'll have a last word from Milwaukee in a moment. 6-3 the final today.
The Chevy Dealer's 10th Inning Show is brought to you in part by Culver's Restaurants, home of Butterburgers and fresh frozen custard.
At Sacred Heart Hospital, we treat patients like family.
Giving each individual the kind of personal attention you won't find anywhere else.
Carla!
Our doctors are among the best in the nation.
Claire! I'm alive!
And we're the leading edge in diagnostics.
Well, either this kid has a light bulb up his butt or his colon has a great idea.
In our home, you don't just get better, you get the best.
And every employee takes pride in his work.
Man, don't making it worth my while.
Scrubs, weeknights at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
This new fridge has a touchscreen. I get internet, TV. The coolest part of it is when it's out of Bud Light, it refills itself.
How does it do that?
I don't know.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
I don't know how it does it, and I don't care.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Long live your car.
The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show has been brought to you in part by Culver's Restaurants, home of butter burgers and fresh frozen custard.
The final today from Miller Park in Milwaukee. The Cubs beat the Brewers 6-3. Also, want to mention big-time Cub fan Steve Schott involved in a serious car accident about 3 weeks ago. He's awake now, expected to fully recover. Steve, we hope you're doing well, and we hope the Cubs help lift your spirits a little bit today with that 6-3 win. Hey, Lou Piniella talked about the Cubby swagger that he wanted to build in spring training and into the regular season, and these are the kinds of wins that certainly help build it. Be a nice win tomorrow if the Cubs could get the sweep over Milwaukee. They'll head home on Monday, and it'll be the start of a very long homestand. Save for 2 games in Atlanta, the Cubs will play 14 of their next 16 after tomorrow in the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. So the Cubs now 3-2 after the win today. Zambrano over Sheets. Milwaukee 2-3. They have dropped 3 in a row. Our next telecast of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, it will be the 92nd home opener at beautiful Wrigley Field Monday afternoon against the Houston Astros, and we'll hit the air at 12:30 Central Time with Next Year Is Here, hosted by Dan Roan. We'll have all of the opening day on-field pomp and circumstance with the award-winning leadoff man show at 1 o'clock, and that's followed by all the action at 1:20 from the north side. Ted Lilly will get his second start of the year. Woody Williams will start for Houston. And it'll be, of course, our 60th year of covering Cubs baseball right here on WGN Sports. Once again, our final today, the Cubs 6, the Brewers 3. Our producer, Pete Toma. Our director, Skip Ellison. Mark Brady is our associate producer. Our executive producer, Bob Borwald. Our entire crew did a great job today. And now for Bob Brenly, Len Casper saying goodbye from Wisconsin. The Cubs beat Milwaukee 6-3.
And I know you made your point, but I just don't want to remember. And I know you got the feeling, and I can't say that I'm agreeing with your talk.